Mother Nature is more than just the scenery out your window. She's a powerful force that can both mesmerize and awe. Today, we've put together a collection of the most incredible moments in nature just for you. But first, subscribe to our channel and press the bell before the storm blows it away. This person managed to capture footage of a massive storm that hit Argentina. The first thing I'd do if I were him is wash the sheets. This sunny day on Samos Island was interrupted by a tsunami wave caused by an earthquake 256 kilometers away just 5 minutes earlier, and it was only the first of 3 waves. You can only call it windy weather when you see your neighbor's roof flying down the street. Volcano hikes, where the biggest thrill might be accidentally witnessing a real-life eruption like these lucky adventurers did. This is what your long-awaited camping trip looks like after a month of planning. When hailstones are the size of tennis balls, an umbrella won't cut it. You'll need a bunker. Don't be afraid, it's just thunder outside, they say. Meanwhile, the thunder outside. The competition at outdoor markets is typically pretty fair, unless a storm gets involved. Maybe it was paid by some competitor to do this. Just because you managed to take cover in a building from a tornado doesn't necessarily mean you're in the clear. Luckily, no one was inside here. Beware of restaurant terraces with sea views, because those views can get a little too close during a big storm. My dreams of having a house on the river washed away when I saw what happened to this one during a severe flood. No, this isn't a waterfall. It's a park that became flooded when a nearby river rose 12.7 centimeters due to heavy rain. Imagine the thrill of these people who witnessed a volcanic eruption in person. For most of us, that would be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. But Icelanders are like, that's a warm bonfire. I think I'll sip my coffee now. This office building wasn't visited by a supervisor, but by a full-blown tornado. Suddenly, your day at the office doesn't seem so bad now, does it?
Okay, but that's worse. I mean, you do get how that's worse.
Look at what a heavy downpour did to an Audi dealership. Is nature a BMW fan? This would be lovely footage of Venice if it weren't for the fact that it's actually a heavy flooded city in Germany. These bikers aren't speeding. It's the storm that's moving fast while they stand still. Don't worry, they're safe. This skier was caught in a slab avalanche that loosened a large area of snow. Fortunately, he escaped safely when it stopped. Nature doesn't care where you are. It'll find you even in a temple. After such a heavy hailstorm, you're gonna need more than just a roofer to fix your house.
Why aren't you fixing the roof?
If you have a fear of flying, look away now. I warned you. 75 millimeters of rainfall would be a normal amount for a week, but this time it fell in just 1 hour, with a peak rate of 153 millimeters per hour. If a small glacial collapse in Argentina can cause a tsunami, imagine how devastating a larger one in Antarctica would be. Have you ever wanted a convertible house? Well, these folks didn't either, but a storm didn't give them a choice. Don't you just hate unexpected encounters on your way home, especially when it's a dust devil? Every thunderstorm turns this radio tower into a light show. Does that mean it has 6G now? This is always the weather on my only day off when I decide to spend time outside. If it wasn't obvious already, here's why you shouldn't hide from lightning near a flagpole. The fact that a small stream can transform into a raging river due to heavy rains is terrifying. Living in a high-rise apartment is great until the first thunderstorm hits. Luckily, only the electrical appliances were damaged. Sometimes, a guardian angel isn't an angel at all, but an excavator driver saving people who have been swept away by floodwaters. Did someone resurrect Lord Voldemort, or do sideways tornadoes actually exist?
Did you hear it when you're outside?
The puzzles in the Saw movies seem like a walk in the park compared to severe flooding taking over your subway system. No GPS will help you navigate this area after intense rains turned the roads into a muddy mess. This is what happens when a tornado with winds of 240 kilometers per hour sweeps through your backyard. Good thing the house wasn't made of wood. When the overnight hailstorm finally stopped, residents thought it was over, until the morning when it turned into water and flooded the town. It seems we found the real-life snow kingdom on a mountain 2,297 meters high, even above the clouds. This mountain gorge is a popular canyoneering spot. However, after seeing it rage from a flash flood, it's clear how fortunate it was that all tours were canceled. If a building doesn't have a lightning rod, it is the lightning rod. In this Kazakhstan town, a flood filled an underground road so much that it's now more a canal than a road. Meet mammatus clouds. These cute, bubbly clouds can only be seen during very powerful downpours and thunderstorms. The weather forecast should specify when a storm may contain hail so you can decide whether to wear your suit of armor. Which is rarer in the desert, flooding from rain or a floating car? No worries, there was no one inside. Oh, the irony of choosing a day with a tornado to have an outdoor vacation, especially in a region not known for tornadoes. Severe flooding turned this popular airport in Spain into a literal port, or should I say, the most popular port in Spain. This tornado wanted to show people how beautiful it is outside without electronic devices, so it knocked out the power for over 110,000 people. Hail and wind make a powerful combination, strong enough to punch through an entire house. When you get a surprise flood at your wedding, you know married life is gonna be interesting. I'm no meteorologist, but when a tornado starts breaking trees like twigs, it's definitely not a mild one. It's shocking what Zhangzhou City in China looks like after Typhoon Malaxi, which dumped 113 millimeters of rain in just 1 hour and 220 millimeters in 6 hours. A thunderstorm with lightning definitely isn't something you expect to see in the desert landscapes of Saudi Arabia. Imagine buying your first car and then seeing it swept away by a minor rainstorm the next day. By the way, the car was empty. This girl was lucky enough to witness a meteorite falling. Now she's ready to star in an alien movie. But you know what? We found new candidates.
Huh?
After continuous rainfall, residents in Morocco suddenly discovered a Niagara Falls-like waterfall near their town. Toyotas are reliable, but even they couldn't survive the massive flood at the factory and dealership in Durban. Introducing the sunniest weather in England, complete with wind gusts up to 40 kilometers per hour and a spring tide of over 9.5 meters. Doesn't matter how safe your neighborhood is, there will always be a dust devil ready to steal your inflatable slide. I swear, Icelanders are just built different. How can they stand so close and calmly watch such an intense volcanic eruption? How lucky that this road was closed in time, because a landslide covering a 4-lane highway is no joke. Witness a rare moment when a small glacier breaks away to take its first steps out on its own. While it takes me 5 minutes just to get used to the water at the beach, these professional surfers are riding 5-meter waves. This drone footage shows hot pyroclastic flows from a volcano entering the cold sea, forming small tsunami waves. You know, this weather isn't so bad, unless you look up and realize those storm clouds are actually a tornado. Life in Japan isn't always cherry blossoms. It's also constant encounters with earthquakes. This landslide in Taiwan destroyed 3 roads and an entire parking lot in an instant. Luckily, no one was there. Imagine how powerful a flood has to be to wash away a stone bridge like this. Luckily, no one was hurt. What I see outside when my weather app says sunny. This landslide turned an ordinary parking lot into an underground one overnight. California weather is different. Half the day you're sunbathing, and the other half you're chasing an umbrella in 128 km/h winds. Look at this 6.2 magnitude earthquake just 96 kilometers from its epicenter. These hikers thought they were prepared for anything on their trip, but not a volcanic eruption. Fortunately, no one was hurt. This hailstorm took these people by surprise in the city center. Their raincoats won't be much help here. Some wonders of our planet can't be described with words. Just watch. This terrifying footage of Typhoon Maria shows gales pushing waves up to 42 meters high and wind speeds of 270 kilometers per hour. Thankfully, everyone made it out safe and sound. Talk about winter fishing. You don't even need a rod. Being in the center of a Category 5 hurricane with wind speeds of up to 295 kilometers an hour is better watched on screen than experienced in person. And here's what happens in the Saudi desert after a flood. Entire lakes and rivers appear on sandy roads that were never prepared. Check out this enormous tidal wave in Hangzhou City. Can you believe it came from a river? It's happening! The zombie duck apocalypse! I bet this is the first red river you've ever seen. No, it's not cursed. It's just water from a beet processing plant upstream. Only nature can break its own rules. A big storm can turn 6 p.m. into the dead of night. Looks
Yeah,
like
so show
Mr. Krabs'
some
whole
videos.
family gathered when they heard someone say money. In this Spanish city, prolonged heavy rainfall turned the streets into water slides. Meanwhile, on the other side of Spain, other areas were turned into entire water parks. Who am I supposed to call in this situation? A plumber or an electrician? Did you miss the 2024 eclipse? Well, don't worry, these lucky people filmed it for us. It's nice to get a little taste of Christmas in the middle of June until you realize that it's not snow, but hail. Lake Michigan's weather could easily pass as footage from Antarctica. In case you didn't know, Zeus is a huge Linkin Park fan. Some paragliders managed to capture footage of the eye of the Earth, a rare phenomenon in the wetlands. Sometimes this eye moves around the lake. Here's how that glowing meteorite looked from the Planetary Defense Office. Check out the Bay of Fundy, where the tide can rise over 12 meters. Here, the water drops to the bottom in 5 hours and then rises again. Turns out Texas is home to more than just cowboys, and it's something scary. If you didn't know what a thunderstorm looks like combined with a huge sandstorm and a massive tornado, well, it looks like the end of the world. You know it's hot when it's 32 degrees Celsius out and the traffic lights need watering so they don't melt. Did you know volcanoes can release smoke rings? This rare phenomenon only happens with a specific crater shape. Either that or this volcano is just a vapor. This could easily be mistaken for a gateway to heaven, but it's actually a unique optical phenomenon caused by the refraction, reflection, and dispersion of light through ice particles. Typhoons aren't the only phenomena that can do this. Even a thunderstorm with gusts of 20 meters per second can cover an entire city in a dense mist. Oh, these people are way too calm for witnessing a meteorite that looks like an alien invasion. No filters here. This is the real effect on visibility during a sandstorm. It's like this guy lives in a real Mad Max universe. Rockfalls aren't the only thing to be wary of around cliffs. There are also rock rivers. Luckily, it stopped before reaching the house. A driver decided to leave their car when it got stuck in the desert during a flood. When they came back to pull it out, there was just a pile of sand. Any scientists here? This mysterious hole in Oman with pink smoke coming out of it is puzzling. What is it? This is the ordinary tide of the Chentong River. Nothing can hold back its power, not even concrete. Leave your worries behind and enjoy these ducklings experiencing their first downpour. This is Hurricane Edgar, which decided to visit Moscow with winds over 60 meters per second. And judging by the aftermath, Edgar isn't a very careful tourist. get mesmerized by a painting of horses from the greatest artist in the world, Mother Nature. This avalanche unexpectedly appeared right behind a snowboarder. Fortunately, he outran it thanks to his skill and some luck. This lightning strike hit the top thrill dragster at Cedar Point. Fortunately, the roller coaster wasn't in operation due to the nasty weather, so no one was there when it happened. Rule number 1, if a tornado doesn't seem to be moving, it's coming at you and you should start running. Despite the fact that enormous hail completely destroyed the window, the homeowner didn't get upset, unlike his insurance company. Mother Nature decided that it was time to take a shower. Thankfully, no one got hurt. I knew that living in sandy cheeks from SpongeBob's house wasn't my best decision. Okay, maybe an ordinary tornado doesn't impress you much, but how about a fire-nado? The green aurora borealis is undoubtedly a beautiful natural phenomenon. It looks like a dance of heavenly spirits. So this is how my Sims feel when I escape daytime in the game. This is a jaw-dropping coal field with never-ending fire. What a nice spot for a barbecue, am I right? It only took a day for nature to turn this cozy town into a real mess. The good news is none of the residents were hurt by this flood. Witnessing half of a forest disappear in seconds due to nature's wrath is almost unbelievable. This is how I picture the arrival of the Dark Lord. That moment when invisible ninjas are trying to kidnap you, but you're putting up a good fight. Either someone has just broken a huge barrel of wine, or the universe has decided to create a true Red Sea. This water is glowing thanks to a special plankton that generates lighting during movement. It actually looks like a scene from a new Disney movie. Here's why you should always take flash flood warnings seriously. No, this isn't some weird firework. These comets flew millions of miles through space to dazzle us with an astonishing natural phenomenon. What are the odds of seeing hail in a desert? 0? Think again. So this is how George Lucas came up with the double sunset idea for Star Wars. Now, I have a good reason not to visit Scotland in the summer. You can build a road using the best materials, but if Mother Nature decides it doesn't fit the landscape, it'll be gone before you know it. Did you know that volcanic eruptions could be so beautiful? Nature is truly the most skilled artist on our planet. I always wait to let cows or geese cross the road, but what is this? Tumbleweeds? This sky looks like it's been taken directly from a Ghostbusters movie. So where is Marshmallow Man? These hikers weren't expecting their trail to turn into a real-life Donkey Kong video game with huge chunks of ice. But good luck kept them safe. After years of a boring life, this roof has finally decided to go for a ride. Water wears away stone, but in this case, it's an entire highway. Asphalt and metal can do nothing against the power of nature. Just look at how easily a flood can take down the creations of human civilization. What do you get when you combine swift wind and fire? One of the most mind-blowing natural phenomena, of course. But look, this is how a tiny fire tornado is born. Would have been cute if it hadn't been so scary. The good news is that this man doesn't have to worry about running out of snow, but he's probably starting to hate winter. Can you imagine part of a mountain disappearing in 1 second? Well, Mother Nature's here to show you what's possible. POV, you decided to arrange the snow battle with Mother Nature, but things got out of hand. If you can't understand why these people are so stunned, imagine how penguins would react to discovering their home in Antarctica has been turned into a sunny beach.
Just smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Who says volcanic eruptions can't be beautiful? What an eye-catching moment. Now I know what inspired MasterCard's logo. Seeing an eclipse is already a great experience, but what are the chances of seeing the illusion of this phenomenon? The cameraman is one lucky guy. Although hailstorms are common in Mexico during warm months, this one definitely surprised everyone. Look at the chunks of ice. They're as big as oranges. These terrifying cyclones are sometimes known as fire devils. Yeah, firenadoes look like they come straight from hell. Finally, we have video evidence that Mr. Freeze is real.
Winter has come at last.
Due to Lake Turgoyek's depth, it can be covered in ice even when the temperature reaches 86 degrees Fahrenheit. I wonder where Optimus Prime and his Autobots are off to this time. Everest Camp 2 is located at an altitude of 20,997 feet. Although the tents don't look reliable, they can easily withstand natural disasters like avalanches. I bet the owner of this house never expected to have an aquarium outside their window. At least now taking a bath will be more entertaining. Sometimes, the scale of a volcanic eruption is impressively enormous. For instance, this one could even be seen by astronauts on the International Space Station. The way these mosquitoes form columns that move like the tentacles of a terrifying monster makes me nervous. And here we have yet another waterfall masterfully created by nature. Once again, it proves you should never underestimate the power of a flood. These hailstones are massive. You could easily use them to play baseball. This red sky effect was created by a fire near Wanboing Lake. What a beautiful and frightening phenomenon. That moment when you mask your spaceship, but forget it's surrounded by clouds. This meteor's color is so unusual and eye-catching. I wonder why it's so blue. Have you ever seen anything as beautiful as this stormy cloud formation? Did you know that a tornado forming looks just like someone summoning the genie from Aladdin? Who needs 5D movie theaters when we have such realistic tsunami illusions? Solar eclipses can cause various illusions like this one, which resembles a UFO. Landslides are one of the most dangerous phenomena you can encounter in the mountains. Luckily, when this natural disaster destroyed a large part of the forest, there was no one to get injured. The aurora borealis is one of the most beautiful things you can see in nature, and it's caused by magnetic storms. Dozens of cars couldn't get from one side of the road to another due to this devastating flood. This is when Google Maps is truly useless. Luckily, there were no casualties. Everything seems like magic when you don't know physics. This phenomenon is called HAARP clouds, and they're caused by unique atmospheric conditions. Due to this shop's panoramic windows, watching a flood feels like visiting a huge aquarium. But where are the fish? This cloud looks like someone shaping it on an invisible pottery wheel until it turns into a tornado. Oh no, Doctor Strange is playing with his portals again. It looks like millions of gallons of water have been stored inside this mountain, and they're finally being released to make a new river. The power is so breathtaking. People in Dubai witnessed this celestial body flying in the sky. It's still unknown whether it was a meteor or space debris, but it definitely surprised everyone with an unexpected fireworks show. Even though this large part of West Bay's cliff collapsed unexpectedly, it's a common thing for this kind of coastline. As a rule, these natural features often suffer from erosion. Fortunately, this accident didn't cause any significant damage. I always knew someone was making those fluffy clouds. Finally, we have proof. Isn't it so exciting to live in a world where you can randomly see such a magnificent natural phenomenon? This girl definitely needs to hire hell divers to deal with this moth invasion. Oops, somebody dropped the clouds. Hey, we need to get those back up there. If there were a compilation of the biggest and scariest tornadoes, this one would take first place. This is what it's like to drive a car during the biggest downpour in 75 years. Thankfully, everyone was using their hazard lights and slowing down for safety. Did you know that wildfires like this not only destroy local ecosystems, but are also a major source of air pollution? We should do our best to stop these accidents. Whirlpools are like a free hypnosis session created by nature. It's amazing how fast the Malangwa River created a large channel to the Indian Ocean. These fish are like, so this is where we're gonna live now. Not bad. Given the history of the Titanic, this guy should be careful while swimming near that huge chunk of ice. Don't worry, that's not a wildfire. An earthquake hit this mountain, causing tons of dust to fly into the air. Now, we know that if you combine sand and seawater, it looks like beer. Don't worry, this is just a spaceship parked in invisible mode. This shocking landslide happened near Daxian Village in 2023. It's simply unbelievable to see a giant part of the mountain turn into nothing in a few moments. Fortunately, there were no people injured. You never know what lurks in the darkness. It could be a cat, a monster, or a frickin' tornado. This isn't footage from Pandora. You can visit Crystal Cove State Park if you want to see these glowing waves caused by bioluminescent bacteria. Mother Nature decided to play with snowballs, but it went too far. One avalanche is scary enough, but 4 avalanches at the same time? Horrifying. That moment when you're recording a video for your blog and the apocalypse begins. This cart has watched way too much WWE. Stop it. As a rule, these rope tornadoes are the smallest and safest, known for their curved shape in the final minutes. Lightning struck mere meters away from the cameraman. I hope he went and bought a lottery ticket that day. An earthquake caught this woman and her fluffy friend off guard while they were chilling in their apartment. Luckily, they both escaped, just a little rattled. Natural phenomena can create perfect moments, such as lightning striking when the famous Metallica plays Master of Puppets. Hell yeah, Odin loves rock too. Imagine how strong wind has to be to snap giant trees like matches. The power of this destructive force is truly terrifying. Lightning striking a house can cause a lot of damage to home appliances. Luckily, modern lightning rods help prevent such occurrences. Believe it or not, Kawaiigen has blue fire. But if you're not a professional guide like this man, it's best you stay away from this phenomenon. Although science can easily explain this unusual blue flame, I prefer the idea that Godzilla lives in this volcano. It looks like Mother Nature wanted to see what's inside this house. Thankfully, it was abandoned, so nobody was harmed. No, this isn't a well-planned flash mob with dancing cars. The drivers are experiencing an earthquake. Luckily, it wasn't strong, so no one was injured. Is this a storm or just a huge monster hiding somewhere off-screen? This is why you should never shelter under trees when it's stormy outside. Even a modern defense system for this solar panel plant in India couldn't protect it from a violent storm that caused million-dollar damage. Are you sure a tornado is the only way to enter the land of Oz? How about an Uber? They said there was lightning near their house, but why didn't I hear the iconic ka-chow? Ka-chow! Sometimes nature has a special kind of humor. If not for friends, the poor girl probably never would have closed those doors. This man should have run to buy a lottery ticket right after lightning struck a tree near his car. Talk about good luck. Unfortunately, this street wasn't prepared for a flood of this scale, so now residents have to pay for repairs to their cars and homes. At least there were no casualties. Imagine seeing this 10,000 years ago, and suddenly the legends about Titans were born. It looks like ghost bullies have entered this building and are messing with the doors. This is how we have fun in magic school. The way traces of lightning strikes resemble our body's nervous systems is incredible. don't envy the guy who just bought a boat to enjoy on this lake. No one was hurt. Mother Nature decided to greatly reduce the price of Tesla shares. What do you say to that, Elon Musk? Why shouldn't you mess with Zeus? Well, here's one reason. It's a miracle that this storm didn't cause any damage to nearby structures while destroying every tree in the yard. Apparently, only people with seriously good karma live in this neighborhood. Nature is obviously hinting that the driver should take a different way home. The Justice League probably needs to buy more umbrellas. Car versus lightning. Once again, Mother Nature wins. Fortunately, the car's owner wasn't inside. What would happen if you didn't wash your pants for a month? They'd probably fly away. Sure, this storm caused a blackout, but at least the locals got to enjoy a short but thrilling fireworks show from the comfort of their homes. If you know someone who doesn't believe that aliens make tornadoes, just show them this video. Mother Nature definitely doesn't appreciate the work of glassmakers. Thankfully, the people inside the house survived the storm unharmed. Well, now this woman gets to celebrate 2 birthdays. Good thing she hadn't jumped into the water before the lightning struck. Trying to extend the pleasure by slowly breaking this tree. That's a weird kind of ASMR. Even bears can experience the power of a storm. Hopefully, this one found a safe place to hide from the wind. Look at how enormous this lightning is. Thankfully, it struck far away from the soccer field, so nobody was injured. The storm was so heavy that it felt like the motorcyclists were going 100 miles per hour, but nobody was even moving. That's all for today. Tell us in the comments about the most unusual natural event you've ever seen. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. See you in future videos.